Quick Picks. Welcome back, everybody, to an edition of the Quick Picks, brought to you by the Great Canadian Fight Show. This week, we're looking at UFC Fight Night, Font versus Vera, which goes down Saturday, April 30th, out of the UFC Apex in Vegas, baby. And we're going to start with the opening fight on the card. I got the best of Kyle the Brilliant. So I'm going to get first dibs on this one, Kyle. I'm going to help myself to this one, partner. And the first fight we're going to be looking at tonight is a middleweight bout versus Gerald Meerschaert and Krzysztof Jotko. Tough matchup, but I'm going with the favorite in this one. I'm going with Krzysztof Jotko. Last time you saw Gerald Meerschaert, he lost to Chimaev in all about 6 seconds. So I'm going with Krzysztof Jotko, and I'm going with him to win via first round TKO.
Yeah, I'd love to go against you on this one, but I'm also going to go with Joko on this one. I think seems like a stronger fighter. Gerald Meerschaert is so. I don't think he can get this one done. And I'm also going to go with TKO I'm going to go with the second round TKO.
Excellent. Second fight of the card, we've got a battle of the big boys. Darren Elkins is back versus Tristan Connolly. Elkins coming in as a slight 165 favorite. Kyle Allen, who is your quick pick?
Tough one. I'm going to go with Tristan Connolly on this one. I saw him in Vancouver when he fought, or maybe it wasn't Tristan Connolly then, because there was some guy that fought Pereira and beat Pereira, but that was at obviously not this weight class. That was at welterweight, but I'm going to change my pick. Sorry, I'm going off script here, but I'm going to go with Darren Elkins actually on this one. I think he gets it done over Tristan Connolly. I think I was thinking of someone else that was not Tristan Connolly.
Well, I made a mistake, folks. It's not the heavyweights. It's actually the featherweight. So that's my bad. But I am going to go with Tristan Connolly. I saw Darren Elkins' last fight. He has a very, very stiff fighting style, not very mobile, relies on the power shot a lot. So I'm going to go with Tristan Connolly to win via decision, the first dog. Next fight on the card, we've got a lightweight matchup. Jared Gordon squares off against Grant Dawson, with Grant Dawson coming in as a minus 165 favorite. And I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson, and I'm going to go for him to win via decision.
Once again, I'm not going to challenge on this one. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson too. I think Grant Dawson is too good. He's 17-1 for a reason, and I think he gets it done over Jared Gordon.
All right, next on the fight, we've got a featherweight matchup. Andre Touchy-Feely back in the ring versus Joanderson Brito. Andre Feely, is coming in as the minus 260 heavy favorite coming into this fight. Kyle Allen, who's your pick?
I'm going to go with Andre Feely on this one. I think he's been around for a while. He still has a lot in him. I think he has still a good chance to make a run at featherweight, but he's a veteran, and I think he uses his experience and his skills to get Burrito out of there.
Can't disagree with you there. I mean, Andre Feely, anybody outside of the top 10, I mean, he's definitely one of the top can crushers in the UFC, and I think he continues to crush les cans. I think he beats Joanderson Brito, and I'm going to say he does it by a submission in the second round. We're moving into our co-main event, folks. This time, it is the big dogs, and it is the returning Andrei Arlovski, one of the greats in the sport, taking on Jake Collier, with Andrei Arlovski coming in as the minus 145 favorite. Tough matchup, but I do think Arlovski gets it done against Collier. Collier, definitely one of the smaller heavyweights, one of the guys that I would personally like to see get in a little bit of better shape and drop down to light heavyweight, where I think he could be far more effective. I think Andrei Arlovski just too big, too strong. I think he gets Jake Collier out of there via decision again.
I think I'm going to challenge you on this one. I'm going to go with Jake Collier. I think he's a little bit shorter, stockier, but I think that might give him the advantage. And I think he's going to clip Arlovski and get him out of there in a first round TKO.
All right, all right, all right. It's main event time, everybody. Big fight in the bantamweight division. Rob Font versus Marlon Chito Vera. It's a pick 'em in my books, but Vegas has Rob Font ahead as a minus 135 favorite. Both guys riding high into this matchup with big fights. Vera with a big KO of Frankie Edgar coming in, turning Frankie Edgar into an NFT. And Rob Font going 5 rounds, tough 5 rounds with Jose Aldo. Tough pick, Kyle. I'm going to let you go first so you can make a fool of yourself before I go ahead and ride your coattails.
Rob Font, he's really good. He's always looked really good in his last fights. Even against Aldo, he kind of got pieced up a little bit, but still had a good hard fight. But I think Marlon Vera just keeps getting better. Every fight you see him, he seems to be improving. He's beat good guys. He's the only one to beat Sean O'Malley. He's beat Frankie Edgar. He's slowly moving up in competition. So I'm going to go with Marlon Vera on this one.
Yeah, tough. I mean, with Vera, it's just the enigma, right? I mean, he loses to Jose Aldo in a much more dominant fashion than Rob Font lost. He beat Sean O'Malley, but there's always going to be an asterisk next to that fight because there was an injury there that led to him beating Sean O'Malley. And Frankie Edgar, I mean, he had been getting squashed. So I'm going to go with Rob Font. I do think technically he's more sound. I think he's able to utilize his jab and his long reach for a bantamweight. And I think he's able to grind out a win against Marlon Vera. But again, I think it's going to be a decision fest on Saturday night, Kyle. I think there's going to be a lot of decisions on this fight card. And again, I think this UFC main event goes all 5 rounds. So I'm going with Rob Font via decision. Folks, that completes another edition of Quick Picks brought to you by the Great Canadian Fight Show. Stay tuned for our full podcast episode, which will be dropping earlier this week as well. And we will have this episode drop before the weekend so you can have a quick pick at our expert analysis before dropping your dough. Thank you very much, folks. Have yourself a great night, and we'll be here next week to recap this event. Howdy.